So we are back here on the Zero Empty Spaces podcast. I believe this is episode 20 in our Gulfstream Park location with Broward native, resident artist here, Pablo Matute, in our 11th location at the beautiful village of Gulfstream Park. If you didn't know about Zero Empty Spaces, myself, Evan Snow, and my business partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, as local arts advocates, community builders, and creative entrepreneurs, started an initiative to activate vacant commercial retail spaces to make affordable artist studio spaces at $2 per square foot on a month-to-month basis with the water and electric included for the artist. Provides great opportunities for somebody like Pablo to be able to get out, work out in public, be around other artists, and provide support for local retail businesses, walkability of the community, and other countless great benefits. To find out more, you can log on to www.zeroemptyspaces.com. But the point of the podcast is to connect you with a very talented artist like him that make the project what it is. So without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about Pablo at a high level?
Well, my name is Pablo Matute. I am an artist here in Broward, residing in Hallandale. I've been drawing for most of my life. I've always done creative stuff. I'd always draw, I'd skateboard, I'd do martial arts. I'd always done something creative, and I was always the classic, the best artist in class type of thing. When we do group projects and people need somebody to draw, let's just get Pablo. So I was always drawing and throughout middle school, high school, and college now.
Where'd you go to school?
For high school?
Growing up, yeah.
Growing up, I went to Olsen Middle School, which is in Hollywood, and I started drawing a lot there. And then I kind of stopped because I started skating a lot. And skating, doing soccer and all those other types of stuff. So it kind of put a pause on my drawing and stuff. Because back then I used to draw a lot in sketchbooks. I used to, when I was little, make my own comics of Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny and stuff. Yeah, that's my sketchbook.
Showing an amazing sketchbook here. But keep going. Then when did you get back into the arts?
I got back into the arts probably about last year. Last year I got back into it.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I got back into it last year, and mainly because my brother was going back to college. I mean, not back to he started college, and so I wanted to do a class with him. And so he's always he was taking the route to be a graphic designer. So I wanted to take beginner's arts with him. That's there where I met John Silver, who's a surrealist artist, and my professor at the time, who was amazing. He does these really nice, detailed creatures with charcoal and pen, watercolor. He'll destroy any medium. He was super sick.
And where was your teacher?
My John Silver. Where is he?
Yeah.
Right now he's in Broward, residing in Broward College.
Oh, okay. So, and just so for them that don't know, so are you still in school? Did you just graduate?
Oh, I just graduated from Broward. I got my AA. Now I'm going to FIU to pursue a BFA in art education.
Amazing. Big shout out to Broward College, who does have art program that I've seen more talented artists come out of. There's some very talented professors, Lisa Rockford, curator that's participated in Art for Lauderdale, and many other talented people. So I'm glad that you got to participate locally in a budding arts program that's trying to support artists like yourself. And we got to see some of that here.
Yeah.
So who are some of your inspirations or influences that have led to this point in your career here?
Well, I guess the basics, Salvador Dali, Picasso, the surrealists and stuff. But my main inspiration is probably my mentor, John Silver. His art is amazing, and he's the one if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be drawing the way I'm drawing now. 100%.
What was it that he instilled in you or showed you that did that?
Well, during that time, I wanted to pursue art really badly, and I actually wanted to be a comic book artist because I really like comics and stuff. I read them a bunch, so I wanted to push myself to be a comic artist. So I would draw crazy because I don't know if anyone knows, like, in comics you have to, like, make deadlines, you have to do 1 page a day, and, like, it's just crazy hours that you have to put in. So I try to push myself a lot, and I push myself to the point where I kind of like messed up my neck, like my nerves here, and it kind of just triggered like this, my whole drawing arm, and it was just like, it was 6 months of just like me trying to fix it and trying to get at least 20 minutes of drawing out of it, even though it hurt.
But tell them how you would try to fix it.
I would try to fix it. It's funny. Looking back on it now, it's funny, but why I did it, it's so disturbing and medieval. But I would like, there's this thing that you do with your arm. It's called friction therapy. So what it is what I had was tendonitis. So like the tendons here kind of like wrap around like this, like little ropes. And so I would get my finger and I would pop the tendon like this, like a bunch of times, until like the tendon became looser and kind of loosened up, almost like if you're messing around with like dried gum or like a kneaded eraser that's been like dried up. You like extend it until you eventually get back. It gets like malleable. So yeah, I did that for about 6 months. It was.
I mean, I don't even want to say that that's like dedication to your craft, but like, you know, you're consciously doing it because you wanted to continue creating.
Yeah, what helps me is just getting this stuff out of my head, you know, because I have a bunch of it, and it's not nothing like I have like, you know, like the classic artists, like I have like this dark past or like whatever, you know, I just bored. So I guess my art is just a conquered boredom.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Let's show them a little bit how you're conquering boredom. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So why don't you show us a little bit about your work here?
Well, I have a bunch of my charcoal pieces up here. This one actually was my first ever charcoal piece that I ever done. My first ever big piece that I ever done. I did this, I think, like January? Yeah, I did this January. It was like right about when quarantine was like starting and stuff. Not starting, but like, you know, when things were okay, I guess. So
Simpler time back then.
Yeah, it's a simpler time.
So charcoal pencil.
Yeah, it's all charcoal. Charcoal pencil, and sometimes just the regular charcoal like stick.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then this one here is made just majority of like with fine charcoal. That's why you can see like the shading and stuff is a lot softer. It's not really rough like regular charcoal. Vine charcoal kind of gives it like a softer texture, I guess.
Amazing.
And then this one I did just all reductive drawing. So all the black that you see is pure charcoal. I didn't buy the paper black. I just covered it with charcoal, and then with an eraser I would make the image.
Did you say reductive drawing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like where you put the charcoal, and then with the eraser you make out the image.
You can't even tell because the glare on the frame, but this is so amazing. It's unreal. Unreal, Pablo.
Back then I had more of a cartoon style. That's when like my drawings were planned. And that's what I kind of didn't really like about it, like the planned drawings. I didn't like that at all. Which leads me to this drawing being something that's purely just, I guess, chaotic. It's, you know, something that, like, you look at it and you think it may look nice, but at the same time you look at it like, what the hell is this? And I like that reaction from people. I prefer a negative reaction to no reaction at all. That's how I see it.
Charcoal just gives it that pop. It's just so.
Especially with this paper. This paper is different from that type of paper.
What kind of paper is this?
This one, I think it's just regular, like, drawing paper. I think just purchased in, like, a roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is BFK, which is, like, a cotton paper. And it gives it, like, a texture. So, like, whenever I try to blend it with a blending stump, it kind of, like, it kind of, like, the paper wears away. And this one, like, you can make it.
Where do you get your supplies from?
Michael's, Dick Blick, any type of, like, art store. Sometimes Amazon.
Alright, let's show them some of your supplies and what you use to make this craziness over here.
Alright, cool. So this is probably like the main thing I would use. This like charcoal stick right here. This I would get like the outlines for everything, and then if I want more detailed stuff, I'll go with the charcoal pencil or the other types of charcoal pencil. This charcoal pencil is more darker. This one's softer. And then
I don't even want to tell you what this looks like, but you ever seen those prison TV shows? Well, prisons on TV, where they show all the shanks and all the things. That's what it looks like we're looking at. Hold that thought. So why don't you show us how you use some of these weapons of doom here?
well, like this one I just got started on, so I'll do something here.
Okay.
So this is one that I'm gonna start on that's right above the breast here. So I start off like if I want to get like really like to show off the highlight a lot, I'll make sure like to give it like a really nice dark shadow to highlight. So I'll start with a dark, the darkest, then mid dark, and then I'll slowly go lighter until I don't really use the charcoal at all, and I just kind of spread it out with either the blending stump or like a cotton wool.
Amazing. Let's see some.
Nice little circular motion here.
How many hours would you say you've already put into this one piece?
I don't know, probably 28.
And how many more hours do you think it has?
I don't know. I kind of don't like put a deadline on my work. Like whenever I stop like feeling the piece, like if I get not bored with it, but like I feel like doing something else, maybe I want to mess around with acrylics, I'll like put this to the side and let it chill. I have one that's rolled up, and I think that's behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just pen, and it's the same style, the same shading, but with like a skinny little pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll show you that later.
What do you like about having a studio to create in outside of your house?
Silence. Yeah, because it can kind of get a little crazy, you know. I have my time, but then at the same time, I have to help out around my house.
Sure.
So whenever I get the chance to draw, it's usually like at night or maybe early morning.
Well, we're glad we can give you a place. Thankfully, you got a door and some privacy here. Thankfully, you're in here pretty active in Gulfstream Park, so you can come check out Pablo right next to Williams Sonoma in the village of Gulfstream Park. And Pablo was just live painting outside during our last open studios this last weekend during the Plant-Based Food Festival. We'll have some more open studios where you can see Pablo creating outside the studio, inside his studio. Pablo, if they want to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram. It's Pablo_Matute art. And
M-A-T-U-T-E?
yeah, M-A-T-U-T-E, and then just art.
Amazing. Make sure to follow him. Really on something special here. How old are you, Pablo?
21.
21-year-old. I don't know if I'm supposed to say prodigy or phenom. But one of the two. Either way, we're really glad to have you friends with Nixon Morin, another former Zero Empty Spaces resident artist who might come back now that we have a space closer to his house. Really excited for the future of Broward County young emerging artists like yourself. Really glad to have you in the program and look forward to inspiring more future artists and having you be the mentor one day, Pablo. How about that?
Hopefully that's the dream.
You keep up the good work, my friend. You have a good one.
You too, guys.